one thing I always question is like, I always wondered how would I look like right now? What would be my beliefs, opinions, even obviously the way I look? How would that be if I never moved here? If we had stayed, where we came from? So let's start with Julio. What do you think you'd look like right now if you had lived in South Africa your whole life?
This is something I've actually thought of a lot because I'm the only person in my immediate family that was born here. So my two sisters, my mom and my parents, they were born in South Africa, so they all speak the language fluently, still heavily embedded in the culture. And I can't lie, every family get together, I get called whitewashed. But
That's tough.
I can hear the language, I just can't speak it back, so I hear what they're saying and I respond to them in English.
Yeah.
And then they'll force me to speak the language. And when I speak it with an English accent, then they'll make fun of me and I'm like, what y'all want me to do?
In my language, they always say that I have Creole in Chad, which basically just means I got a whitewashed Creole.
Yeah, if you used to translate it word by word, it means swollen Creole. Or what's another? That's all the words I can find for it. Swollen Creole.
Honestly, if I lived in South Africa, I wouldn't really. I'd probably be a lot more disciplined.
Yeah.
Not sure. It depends on where in South Africa I live, but not sure where my beliefs would be and stuff like that. I'd like to think that I got to where I got to in terms of my mentality and my mindset pretty naturally. It wasn't really that influenced by other things because mainly when I started growing into my individuality was around the pandemic. So I was obviously isolated. I didn't really have anyone to be influenced by. I was mainly just influenced by my own thoughts. Whenever I get bored, there's nothing to do. Laying in my bed staring at the ceiling. And that's when I started really being able to understand my thoughts. And
you got that time to just be alone and actually get to know yourself.
Yeah, like actually own what I believe in.
Yeah.
Rather than what you call it. Yeah. Time I actually get to own what I believe in rather than believe in what everyone else is believing in just to follow the popular crowd.
Yeah. Okay, what about you, Raphael?
I think if I still live in Portugal.
Let's go with Cape Verde.
If I still live in Cape Verde.
Yeah. You definitely have long hair.
I'd still be in year 2.
Just for context, this man is currently 16 years old.
Let me be dead serious here. I still live in Cape Verde. I think I'd be way more in touch with the culture.
Yeah.
If I did start working out in Cape Verde, that'd be massive because there's so much food over there, and I think
the Balkan food.
Yeah.
Every time we go there, we come back 5 kilograms heavier.
Yeah, literally. But definitely more in touch and more. What's the word? What like you said? What's the word when you?
Individuality.
No. Like if I stayed in Cape Verde, I'd be more.
My parents. More in touch with your culture.
Because you know how people are strict, right?
Yeah. More disciplined.
Yeah. That's the word. I'd be way more disciplined.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be one of them. And I think if I still lived in Portugal, I'd be a big surfer.
Yeah.
You get me?
Definitely.
At the beach every day surfing.
Yeah, we used to surf when we was younger as well. I wish we could do it these days, man.
Yeah. Big surfer,
Yeah. I still don't understand how we did it though.
Me neither. I felt like you be skipping it.
Wow. No, not anymore.
I'll be doing leg day every other day, man. My legs are getting best.
Yeah.
Ezekiel, how many times do you do it? How many times have you been doing carbs? I do carbs twice a week. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get there, man. I'll get there eventually.
But yeah. What was the question that I asked again?
About how you feel.
How different would you
Can't exactly ask that for. Well, how different do you think you'd be if you still lived in London?
Well, Nigeria.
No, because you've never lived in Nigeria.
Oh.
Never been there.
I'm like it still.
You're like
How different my life would be?
Yeah.
I reckon it would be different because, well, for one, I wouldn't have met the people I've met moving here. I probably wouldn't have the same mindset, the same maturity that I would back then, like where I used to live, there's a lot of bad influences.
Yeah.
Probably be a GM or something like that.
Yeah, I
Something
reckon you'd
something
be like,
stupid.
you know that guy, I'm not sure if he's, I don't know if he's
Obviously,
from
don't
Top
mention his
Boy.
name.
No,
Oh,
I don't
character.
Know, I don't know if he's in Top Boy, but you know, like, he looks a bit like Ezekiel with braids.
Oh, Kid.
Yeah, I know which one. I know which one.
Yeah.
I would not be Kid.
You'd be Kid for sure, man.
It's too quiet to be Kid.
Nah, you'd be Kid still. I think that Kid's a bit loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Blue Story as well.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you though?
Me, I say, what I look like, I definitely have like an afro. Yeah. But you know what? One thing I can say though, I am grateful for coming here, because in Cape Verde, everyone is really like heavy on the party life. So right now, I wouldn't have the mindset that I have, but I do enjoy the culture though. But yeah, if I was still there, I would probably have an afro, be a little bit more darker, because I used to be dark skinned before I came here. I used to be dark skinned, but
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, it was. Hey, nah, trust me, I was the same skin color as Bruno. Bruno
Yeah.
was Ezekiel's color.
yeah, I would be a little bit heavier, because the way my nan used to feed us,
Trust me.
bro, she would trick me into eating. Like she would say,
More spoon.
one more spoon, I'd eat that spoon. Just one more spoon until I finish the whole plate. What else? I think my hobbies would be different as well. I'll probably be playing football. But that's about it. But like I said before, I am very grateful for coming here. Even though I do, love Cape Verde, love the culture. But if I didn't come here, I wouldn't develop the mindset and picked up the things that I do now.
You miss your grandmother's cooking?
Oh, hell yeah.
I miss my grandmother's
Hell yeah.
She came back last year. She stayed for about 6 months. Every chance I got, I went to get some of her food.
Yeah. That reminds me, what's some of the things that you miss from back home?
Oh my god, food.
Yeah.
Food back home is bon appetit.
Bon appetit. What else? Just the food.
Food, people, culture. I mean, everyone there is like a very, very helpful culture. Like, everyone's there for each other, helpful. Like, I don't know how to like a neighbor type mentality.
Yeah.
Like, you would have very good relationships. with
Oh yeah,
neighbors,
100%.
Stuff like that. You walk around down the street and talk to everyone. Here, I feel like everyone's a little more isolated. Like
Yeah.
there isn't really any neighbor culture here, especially
100%.
if you're different. Like if you're from here, you can see neighbors getting along because
Nah,
they
if
can
you're
relate to the past.
if you're from Priory and stuff, like for example, if you're white from Priory,
Yeah,
then you got good neighbours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or if you're white from Renner or
Nah,
anything along
yeah,
those
that
lines,
is-
innit?
If
But
you
it
come
doesn't
from,
happen over here like that.
Yeah, yeah,
if you come from like a different country or a different background, you
yeah.
don't really get neighbor culture like that. You just kind of
Facts.
stay out of the way. You're segregated. Do
Yeah.
your own thing.
Because back where I live, where me and Raphael live, right? Our neighbors were almost like our uncles and aunties, like the whole neighborhood. And when I say neighbors, I don't mean just the next door neighbor. Everyone in like everyone in the street.
Let's just say we lived in a square here. Let's just say that's
Yeah.
a square, or something like that. Anyways, let's just say we lived in a square, and every single house on the road we knew we lived at that house.
Yeah.
And we've been to that house, we've ate there.
Yeah,
Everyone's cool. Like trust me, I could go next door and ask them for sugar and they'd give it to me.
yeah.
I'd be like, yo, you still got some milk?
And it's also like the mentality back there as well. Like people don't have nearly as much things as people have here back in South Africa, but everyone's just happy
Yeah.
to be living
That
leaving.
community mentality.
Yeah, everyone's just literally enjoying life, enjoying every little thing that they can get out of life as long as they're breathing. They get
Nah, I
to be
feel
with
like
family.
being from a place like that, you tend to be more grateful for things as well.
Yeah.
Whereas people here tend to focus on what they don't have and
Yeah.
take what they do
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
for granted.
Yeah,
That was what I would say is the biggest
you're a lot
difference.
less materialistic
Yeah.
than other places. Yeah. What about you, Raphael? What do you miss most about Cape Verde?
I miss the food, the
Yeah.
sun.
Yeah.
Well, not too much of this, and it can get painful.
Bro's getting sunburns back in there. He came back with his back fully peeled.
Bro, you know what the problem is here? Like being X-racing, I don't think I can get used to anything. I go to Cape Verde, my skin burns. I go to Iceland, I just can't hack the cold.
Yeah.
It's like, it's gotta be in the middle, man. But yeah, too hot there, too cold in Iceland. I'm cool over there.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy the food, the weather, the beach, the people.
Yeah.
You know, the people there are amazing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Like the people, they have this one thing, right? If you go into a room, you can't just say hi. You have to dap up every single one in there,
Yeah.
no matter how many people is in there, no matter if you know them or you don't. When we was there, right? Because we got a couple friends there. When we was walking around with our friends, everyone knows. It's a very small island, so everyone knows everyone. We would walk around the whole day. Yo, what's up? What's up?
But even to this day, it's like, it's just a culture thing. Like,
Indeed.
to this day, if there's like my mum's in the kitchen and there's a bunch of guests in the living room, as soon as I make it to the kitchen, obviously I've already greeted the guests, but as soon as I make it to the kitchen, my mum damn near interrogates me like, did you greet this person? Did you greet this person?
Yeah. What about you, Ezekiel? What do you miss most about London?
Not much except for family. Like, I had like, it was easier to get to my family back there
Yeah.
than it is now, but that's really it.
Yeah. One thing I do miss about Cape Verde is the beach, man. The beach, the weather
Beach,
as well.
when it's live as well, man. You know,
Facts.
when there's so many people there, man.
We need to go back there. The women. Where's my mom?
I can,
Yeah,
I can,
bro.
I can't say that. My girlfriend
Listen,
didn't watch
listen.
this.
Nah,
She won't watch
coming
that.
from South Africa.
So, would you say coming here has influenced the choices you're going to make in the future, the view that you have in your future? Let's start with Julia.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I think here there's a lot more, way more opportunity. It's definitely living here has definitely made me more business minded because I'm very observant in general. So I've just been generally aware of all of the opportunity that surrounds me, especially when I travel back home and I see the lack of opportunity they have there and how so many people, especially family members, want to come here to get the opportunities that I have. So it definitely makes me hungrier, like it makes me wanna create everything that I can possible out of the opportunities that I have so that I can go home and give back and possibly give other people there that are looking for opportunities.
That's one thing I wish that was better about Africa in general. Because, well, not Africa in general, because there's a lot of rich countries, but small countries, for example in Cape Verde, like you said as well, a huge lack of opportunity. So not a lot of people have you won't get that mindset, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to do this, I want to do that. People, they'll just think, I'll get a job, it'll be enough to pay rent and I'll party on the weekends, you get me? There's not a lot of self-belief.
Right, so when we was there last time, I went to get a haircut.
Yeah.
I was at this barber shop, this guy came over with a pan. He had nothing in the pan. And then obviously he was hustling everyone for it.
Yeah, they're hustlers.
Yeah, he was hustling everyone to put things in the pan, money, etc.
Yeah.
And he was just like, he was hustling people. And obviously he was like, I started work on Wednesday, and then I got on holiday on Thursday. And I was like, what do you mean you got on holiday on Thursday? He's like, I quit my job on Thursday. I just left. I'm not going back. And I was thinking like, yo. And he's like, I got enough money to go party, and I got enough money to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Then I was just, they're like,
yeah, it's like as long as they got enough money to party on the weekends, they're good.
yeah, literally. And he's like, the thing is, he was saying he's gonna regret it though after all the party. He's gonna have to go back and speak to his boss and try to get a job back in that.
Was prioritizing partying.
Yeah, literally. I was thinking, huh?
Yeah. But
No,
yeah.
but let's not say everyone from there is like that. Because there were our hustlers, man. Our uncles are hustlers.
100%. You get that. It's weird because people, they'll develop a hustler's mentality,
Yeah.
but though they won't like dream big or anything like that.
Yeah.
Any sort of, you know,
Yeah,
yeah. All they think about is, you know, actually some families do. They try to pass it down to their kids. Their dreams, they try to pass it down to their kids. So what a lot of people will do is send their kids to Portugal to go to university there, and then get a job, and then hopefully come back. But half the time, it does not go well. It does not go well. Because imagine 17-year-old going to a whole different country, no parents, no one to guide them, you know? So it's hard. But yeah, back to you, Ezekiel. What do you think moving here has influenced your view on the future and you know, the choices you're going to make?
I would say yeah, but I don't really know how to explain it. Just moving has just changed my mindset completely. Like people, like I don't know, like there's one thing I noticed about people. Like when I first moved in, I usually tend to look at people's eyes because their eyes tell a lot more than what they say.
Yeah.
Like when I speak to a teacher, I look at their eyes to see if they're like trying to be rude, trying to say it in a nice way. Like I'm looking at your eyes right now, I can tell that you're listening to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something I've picked up. Like I always like, I could tell how someone is just by looking at them, looking at their eyes.
Yeah.
Like when I walk past, no offense, a white person, I look in their eyes, I can feel racism. I can
Feel it. I can feel the racist energy.
They don't say anything, but I can just feel it. Just
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
how I look at it.
Is that something you picked up because when you first came in, you couldn't really fully understand people by what they were saying?
Say that again, please.
So is that something that you picked up because when you came here, you couldn't really understand people by what they were saying?
Yeah, like I couldn't understand it, so I just used my body language to actually any type of voices that
Yeah.
like they were
Yeah.
doing.
Facts.
But back to what I was saying though about the view on the future. I think being here has affected my view on the future, mostly because of the people I met. You know, what I was exposed to is like, and what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people, like a whole lot of people, actually make it way further than you think someone could.
Yeah.
So like seeing, I think it has a lot to do with social media as well.
Yeah.
Because you see people accomplish things that you think is impossible.
Yeah.
social media is hella fake.
Yeah.
Let's
I
not
mean,
lie.
it's a blessing and a curse, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a dark part of it and the light part of it. So you gotta be careful on what you pick up from it.
Yeah. You just gotta know how to mitigate the information that you get from there.
Yeah.
How to get information, extract it, and then learn to use what you want to use, and then all the other stuff, just don't worry about it.
Facts. You gotta become a human filter.
Pretty much. But yeah, let's elaborate on that. Talk to us about some of the people that you met and how they made you think bigger.
You don't want me to mention you, right? No, I'd say like-minded individuals that I met. Not you, Leo. No way. A lot of like-minded individuals that influenced my my ability to think big, you know. But yeah, that's about it. So we are approaching the end of this podcast. So I got one last question to wrap it up. What advice would you give to kids moving to Dudley or anywhere similar? Let's start with you.
Don't hang around in the markets. You get me?
Yeah, only people from Dudley will understand
Yeah,
that.
don't hang around in the markets. Steps as well.
Mhm.
If you're going to Firefields, yeah, just know there's going to be a fight.
Mhm.
And I don't know, man. Keep away from dumb, stupid people.
Yeah. What about you, Ezekiel?
I ain't got much to say, just remember every action does have a consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would say it's not necessarily just for living in Dudley, just in general.
Mhm.
It's harder when you're younger because you're scared that if you don't try and fit in, then you'll be the odd one out and you'll be left alone. And when you're younger, it's like you don't necessarily have the strength to stand on your own, but just embrace your individuality because that's what makes people special at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I think when you come here, just do you. Don't try to. If you see that you're not naturally fitting into a group, don't try to force it. You know, because there's a lot of social pressure.
Yeah.
Try. I know it's easier said than done, but try not to care about what other people think about you.
And it doesn't necessarily mean like you'll have no friends. Like people will gravitate towards you.
Facts.
If you
The
have
right
an attractive
people.
personality, people will naturally just be attracted to you. So you gotta embrace that at the end of the day.
Yeah. But yeah, we got to the end of the podcast now. Thank you everyone for being here. This has been your host Bruno. So just give us your socials real quick.
Oh, socials. I don't have socials. I'm trying to stay away from that at the
Yeah.
moment. Just do my own thing for a while. So
Yeah.
I'll keep it pushing to Rafael.
My social is Rafael Fortes official. That's it. Instagram and snap.rj. It's basically it.
Insta, Mr. Zeke. If you is somewhere in that name, yeah, that's it.
Yup. And B.Suave on everything.
Girls, make sure you holler this guy.
No.
I've been through days I pray to never go back to. Make the brokenness no get back to. I go back for life.